Hey guys, welcome to my guide for the one button opener macro for sub-rogues. The reason why I'm making this video is because I want to help the people that are just trying out the class for the first time. And I don't personally use one button macros, but I thought this one was pretty neat, so I thought I'd share it. Let's get started. So before we jump into the macro, I just wanted to go over some glyphs and talents in order for this macro to work properly. So for the first glyph I would use is Glyph of Energy to increase maximum energy by 20. The next glyph would be Glyph of Cheap Shot. So when you use Cheap Shot, it would add a 0.5 seconds more duration. And then the last glyph, which is probably the most important, would be Glyph of Hemorrhaging Veins, which means when you use Hemorrhage, you also trigger the 30% damage bonus from Sanguinary Veins, which is very important for this macro. For talents, I would go with Subterfuge, either between Nerve Strike or Combat Readiness. Elusiveness, you can choose either between Burst of Speed and Shadow Step. I prefer Burst of Speed because I play BGs more. Prey on the Weak, because when you're opening on the target, he's locked down in a stun, and all your damage is increased by 10%. Marked for Death, which gives you the instant 5 combo points, which is also really important. And then Death from Above, which gives you an insanely hard Eviscerate at the end of your macro, which usually hits between 75 and 100 something K crits, which is insane. So now that we got the glyphs and talents taken care of, we can move on to the actual macro. Now this macro is a cast sequence macro, which means whichever order the abilities were typed down is the order they'll be used. Now to begin with, we would use Premed into Hemorrhage, which adds on the 30% increased damage from Sanguinary Veins using that glyph. Into Cheap Shot, which also adds the Find Weakness debuff, which ignores 100% of the armor, along with the 10% increased damage from Prey on the Weak. We would be sitting at 5 combo points by then. Then we would use our on-use trinket, Eviscerate, Mark for Death for the extra 5 combo points, into a Death from Above. And then you could use Shadow Dance if you want, you don't have to. I like to sometimes, just because the macro doesn't always kill anyone. Also, there could also be a healer nearby that will be healing, and you can go into Shadow Dance and basically peel the healer off. I'll show you what it looks like real quick, and then we'll move on to the actual gameplay.